Good evening, Internet. I did the mistake of resting my eyes for a minute, and, well, I almost missed today. But we're still going to do February 2nd, which picks up with Exodus chapter 15, verse 20, through chapter 17, verse 7. So, yes, it is still time to read the Bible. There. That's why you gotta have the bookmark string in the right spot. Alright, so then Miriam the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took a tambourine and led the women in dances. And Miriam sang the song, "Sing to the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously. The horse and the rider have been drowned in the sea." Then Moses led the people of Israel on from the Red Sea, and they moved out into the wilderness of Shur, and were there 3 days without water. Arriving at Marah, they couldn't drink the water because it was bitter. That is why the place was called Marah, meaning bitter. Then the people turned against Moses. "Must we die of thirst?" they demanded. Moses pleaded with the Lord to help them, and the Lord showed him a tree to throw into the water, and the water became sweet. It was there at Marah that the Lord laid before them the following conditions to test their commitment to him. "If you will listen to the voice of the Lord your God and obey it, and do what is right, then I will not make you suffer the diseases I sent on the Egyptians, for I am the Lord who heals you." And they came to Elim, where there were 12 springs and 27 palm trees, and they camped there beside the springs. Why did I say 27? It says 70. 12 springs and 70 palm trees. I don't know why it's important there were 70 palm trees there, but I guess that means it was very luscious for a desert. Anyway, now then, they left Elim and journeyed on into the Sin wilderness. Sin. So I guess it's Sin. Between Elim and Mount Sinai, arriving there on the 15th day of the second month after leaving Egypt. There, too, people spoke bitterly against Moses and Aaron. "Oh, that we were back in Egypt," they moaned, "and that the Lord had killed us there. For we had plenty to eat, but now you have brought us into the wilderness to kill us with starvation." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Look, I am going to rain down food from heaven. Everyone can go out each day and gather as much food as he needs. And I will test them in this, to see whether they will follow my instructions or not. Tell them to gather twice as much as the usual on the 6th day of each week." Then Moses and Aaron called a meeting of all the people of Israel and told them, "This evening you will realize that it was the Lord who brought you out of the land of Egypt. In the morning you will see more of his glory, for he has heard your complaints against him. For you aren't really complaining against us. Who are we? The Lord will give you meat to eat in the evening, and bread in the morning. Come now before Jehovah, and hear his reply to your complaints." So Aaron called to them together, and suddenly, out of the wilderness, from within the guiding cloud, there appeared an awesome glory of Jehovah. And Jehovah said to Moses, "I have heard their complaints. Tell them in the evening you will have meat, and in the morning you will be stuffed with bread, and you shall know that I am Jehovah your God." That evening the vast numbers of quail arrived and covered the camp. And in the morning the desert all around the camp was wet with dew. And when the dew disappeared later in the morning, it left a thin white flakes that covered the ground like frost. When the people of Israel saw it, they asked each other, "What is it?" And Moses told them, "It is food Jehovah has given you. Jehovah has said for everyone to gather as much as needed for his household, about 2 quarts for each person." So the people of Israel went out and gathered it, some getting more and some getting less, before it melted on the ground. And there was just enough for everyone. Those who gathered more had nothing left over, and those who gathered a little had no lack. Each home had just enough. And Moses told them, "Don't leave it overnight." But of course, some of them wouldn't listen, and left it until morning. And when they looked, it was full of maggots and had a terrible odor. And Moses was very angry with them. So they gathered the food by morning, each home according to its need. And when the sun became hot upon the ground, the food melted and disappeared. On the 6th day, there was twice as much as usual on the ground, 4 quarts instead of 2. The leaders of the people came and asked Moses why this had happened. And he told them, because the Lord had appointed tomorrow as a day of seriousness and rest, a holy Sabbath to the Lord, when we must refrain from doing our daily tasks. So cook as much as you want today, and keep what is left for tomorrow. And the next morning the food was wholesome and good, without maggots or odor. Moses said, "This is your food for today is the Sabbath to Jehovah, and there will be no food on the ground today. Gather the food for 6 days. The 7th is Sabbath, and there will be none there for you on that day." Some of the people went out anyway to gather food, even though it was the Sabbath, but there wasn't any. "How long will these people refuse to obey?" the Lord asked Moses. "Don't they realize that I am giving them twice as much on the 6th day, so that there will be enough for 2 days? For the Lord has given you the 7th day as a day of Sabbath rest. Stay in your tents and don't go to pick up food from the ground that day." So the people rested on the 7th day. And the food became known as manna, meaning, "What is it?" It was white, like coriander seed, and flat, and tasted like honey bread. Then Moses gave them this further instruction from the Lord. They were to take 2 quarts of it and be kept as a museum specimen forever, so that later generations could see the bread the Lord had fed them within the wilderness. When he brought them from Egypt, Moses told Aaron to get a container and put 2 quarts of manna in it, and to keep it in a sacred place from generation to generation. Aaron did this, just as the Lord had instructed Moses, and eventually it was kept in the ark and the tabernacle. So the people of Israel ate the manna for 40 years until they arrived in the land of Canaan, where there were crops to eat. The omer, the container used to measure the manna, held about 2 quarts. It is approximately 1/10 of a bushel. Now, at God's command, the people of Israel left the Sin Desert, going by easy stages to Rephidim. Upon arrival, there was no water. So once more, the people growled and complained to Moses. "Give us water," they wailed. "Quiet," Moses commanded. "Are you trying to test God's patience with you?" But tormented by thirst, they cried out, "Why did you ever take us out of Egypt? Why did you bring us here to die, with our children and cattle too?" Then Moses pleaded with Jehovah, "What shall I do? For they are almost ready to stone me." Then Jehovah said to Moses, "Take the elders of Israel with you, and lead the people out to Mount Horeb." Excuse me, I pronounced that incorrectly. Lead the people out to Mount Horeb. I will meet you there at the rock. Strike it with your rod, the same one you struck the Nile with, and water will come pouring out, enough for everyone. Moses did as he was told, and the water gushed out. Moses named the place Massa, meaning tempting Jehovah to slay us. And sometimes they referred to it as Meribah, meaning argument and strife. But it was there the people of Israel argued against God and tempted him to slay them by saying, "Is Jehovah going to take care of us or not?" Kind of switched to David Attenborough there for a bit, and it was quite enjoyable. I hope you enjoyed that as well. We will now be moving on to Matthew. Matthew chapter 22, verses 1 to verse 32. Let's see. Anybody? I don't have a lot of energy right now. Like I said, I just woke up from a nap. Jesus told several other stories to show what the kingdom of heaven is like. For instance, he said, it can be illustrated by the story of a king who prepared a great wedding dinner for his son. Many guests were invited, and when the banquet was ready, he sent messengers to notify everyone that it was time to come. But all refused. So he sent other servants to tell him, everything is ready, and the roast is in the oven. Hurry, vámonos. But the guests he had invited merely laughed and went on about their business, one to his farm, another to his store. Others beat up his messengers and treated them shamefully, even killing some of them. That's bad. Then the angry king sent out his army and destroyed the murderers and burned their city. And he said to his servants, the wedding feast is ready, and the guests I invited are worthy of the honor. So go out into the street corners and invite everyone you see. So the servants did, and brought in all they could find, good and bad alike. And the banquet hall was filled with guests. The king came in to meet the guests, and he noticed the man wasn't wearing a wedding robe provided for him. Friend, he asked, how does it happen you are here without a wedding robe? And the man had no reply. Then the king said to his aides, bind him hand and foot, and throw him out into the outer darkness, where there is weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are called, but few are chosen. Then the Pharisees met together to try and think of some way to trap Jesus into saying something for which they could arrest him. They decided to send some of their men with the Herodians to ask this question. Sir, we know you are very honest, and teach the truth regardless of the consequences without fear or favor. Now tell us, is it right to pay taxes to the Roman government or not? But Jesus saw that they were what they were after. You hypocrites, he exclaimed. Who are you trying to fool with your trick questions? Here, show me a coin. And handed him a penny. Technically, pennies didn't exist. He handed him a Roman coin. But it's translation. This translation is always weird. Anyway, whose picture is stamped on it? He asked them. And whose name is beneath the picture? Caesar's, they replied. Well then, he said, give it to Caesar, if it is his, and give God everything that belongs to God. His reply surprised and baffled them, and they went away. That same day, some of the Sadducees, who say there is no resurrection after death, came to him and asked, Sir Moses, said, excuse me, there was a comma there, and I didn't notice it until after I had said the words. Let's try again. Sir, Moses said that if a man died without children, his brother should marry the widow, and their children would get all the dead man's property. Well, we had among us a family of 7 brothers, and the first of these men married, and then died without children. So his widow became the second brother's wife. His brother also died without children, and the wife was passed to the next brother, and so on until she had been the wife of each of them. And then she also died. So whose wife will she be in the resurrection? For she was the wife of all 7 of them. But Jesus said, Your error is caused by your ignorance of the Scriptures and of God's power. For in the resurrection there is no marriage. Everyone has asked the angels in heaven. But now, as to whether there is a resurrection of the dead, don't you ever read the Scriptures? Don't you realize that God was speaking directly to you? And He said, I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So God is not the God of the dead, but of the living. That was pretty fun. I like talking in this kind of laid back Spanish accent. Reminds me of my good friend Juan from a certain. I don't know if I'm allowed to say companies and such here. Doesn't matter. Nobody's gonna watch this. Barry's plastic. He's a factory I worked at for a long time, and he was a good friend of mine. Good guy. I like him. He was actually the one who uh, showed me the advertisement for the company Interact. That is what sent me. I used that company to get me to Japan. They were the ones who employed me as a English teacher over there. It's a good deal. I mean, it wasn't a good deal for money. It was a good deal for experience. For my heart. My heart was in a bad place because I worked in berries for so long. Yeah, but he's okay now. Well, he's okay now. But I'm still trying to figure out what to do next in my life. It's weird time, weird time. But I know the Lord will see me through whatever hard times come. I mean, I'm comfortable. I'm just not at peace, you know. I'm still dealing with depression sometimes. Still trying to figure out what my purpose is because I don't think it's just working at a warehouse forever. I don't know I don't know how to use my skills to better my life because I'm not very good with like lists, looking for work, and I shouldn't talk about all this stuff. It's not important, and I'm just here to read the Bible. It's okay. I mean, if you ever want to know, just ask some comments down there. Let's move on to Psalm chapter 27, verse 1 to 10. We're just going to keep doing this because I'm stuck in this voice now. The Lord is my light and my salvation. He protects me from danger. Whom shall I fear? When evil men come to destroy me, they will stumble and fall. Yes, though a mighty army marches against me, my heart shall know no fear. I am confident that God will save me. What I just tell you, exactly, He will save me. The one thing I want from God, the thing I seek most of all, is the privilege of meditating in His temple, living in His presence every day of my life, delighting in His incomparable perfections and glory. He's true. There'll be when troubles come. You will hide me, you will set me on a high rock, out of reach of all my enemies. Then I will bring Him sacrifices and sing His praises with much joy. Listen to my pleading. Lord, be merciful and send the help I need. Sorry, I did not mean to get emotional there. That's how it is sometimes when you read the word. It hits you. When you don't expect it to hit you, and it feels weird. It kind of overwhelms you a little bit. It's okay. It's just God letting you know. He hears you. He's there. And that's very important to me. Okay. I really am stuck in his voice. I don't know why. I'm going to just continue on with Proverbs for today. Chapter 6, verse 20 through 26. So a bigger portion of Proverbs than usual. But it's good. Okay. So, young man, obey your father and your mother. Take to heart all of their advice. Keep in mind everything they tell you every day and all night long. Their counsel will lead you and save you from harm. When you wake up in the morning, let their instructions guide you into the new day. For their advice is a beam of light directed into the dark corners of your mind to warn you from danger and to give you a good life. Their counsel will keep you far away from prostitutes with all their flatteries and unfaithful wives of other men. Don't lust for their beauty. Don't let their coyness seduce you. For a prostitute will bring a man to poverty, and an adulteress may cost him his very life. I know a lot of you don't have a good mother and father, and I weep for you for that reason. I have a very good mother and father through adoption. I was given up for adoption when I was born through complicated reasons I won't get into, and they have been very good to me. Uh, I met my birth mother about 6, 7 years ago, and she's a good lady. I understand why she put me up for adoption, and she is very glad that they raised me well. And I don't know or care about my father. He was kind of uh, he was not honest with my birth mother because they were both in the Air Force and they had a little fling, but he did not tell her that he already had woman and he and the other woman are married now. So I am told. So he just kind of left my birth mother with me and was like, figure it out. So if he even knew, I don't remember. I think he knew. I think that's what my birth mama told me, but I don't know. My real mom and dad, though, they've been great. I have two older brothers, and I am well loved, and they've been through a lot with me. So, um, no, that I think that is why a lot of the problems are the way they are. There's too many broken homes. Being a mother and a father and a husband and wife, you don't mean what it used to. He's treated so flippantly, and the word shows that that is an important role for each other, for the children. You gotta help each other, man. It's important foundational stuff. You can get by. I mean, people are strong, and God helps you. If you just got the one, or you lose both of them through some reason, know that He's always your Father in heaven. Like, no matter what your earthly father did or didn't do, he, the Lord God is your Father, and He wants what's best for you. So, I went on topic a lot this session. Um, I apologize. It's not my intent to bring my life into this. Um, but hopefully, this helped somebody who is listening at some point. And I wish you a good evening. And as always, the most important thing, God bless you. How do the Catholics do it? Anyway, take care.